Welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about Infinite Dendrogram episode 4. And I think after this episode, everything is about to get a lot more serious. So, like always, let's just jump into it. Okay, so episode 4, we actually begin the quest to go to the other town that Rook and Ray, the main characters, I guess, for this anime, they were trying to start the quest to go to the other town, and they were trying to see, how much money they were gonna make. And we actually find out more about Rook's and Lilim's, their ability. Pretty much, remember last episode we find out, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rook's ability or class was pretty much a pimp. I know it sounds crazy, but that's his class, and we find out what skills are associated with that class. Like, we know he's like a hunter, right? Like, he actually gets like pets, and they're actually on a wagon riding like a big rhino, because that's one of the pets that Rook got for doing a quest where he was modeling or something weird. But we also find out that Rook can control females or charm them using his abilities, because again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the anime. This class is a pimp. Crazy, I know, but that's what it is. And then his embryo pretty much is like a succubus, and she can charm men. So both of them working together, pretty much they can just charm both males and females to fight for their side. And I'm pretty sure it's on a timer or whatever, but that, it's nothing OP. It's not like our main character Ray, that he actually has an OP embryo, which we actually see this episode, that it evolves to a rank 2 or form 2. Now, we don't know exactly why he did that. There was a countdown happening, and he could have accepted it or he could have denied it. And I don't see why somebody would deny it unless it was like a forced evolution. Like, in Pokemon, whenever you force the Pokemons to evolve using the stone, that's not like the ideal way to do it, but it is one way to do it. Maybe it's the same thing over here. We're probably going to find out in the next couple episodes. And then we also see that, what's her name? Mary, she pretty much can't fight. I called it last episode. She's more like a support role. She pretty much just gives out heals. She pretty much just, not heals. What am I talking about? She pretty much gives out experience, like more experience, and she has no combat abilities. Now, she does know, like, she has potions, and she can, she actually saved Ray when he got intoxicated by that ogre. And it kind of reminded me of Final Fantasy, right? Because there's always a monster, the Maboro monster, that you find in the late game, and when he does bad breath, it just gives you a shit ton of freaking status effects. And that's what happened with Ray this episode, until he got saved by that potion that Marie had. Now, Ray, as you already know, this is the main character in an isekai kind of anime, so you already know this dude is about to be OP. Now, granted, the weapon that he's got right now, Nemesis, his embryo, pretty much is OP as it is, because he can take damage, and then he can, like, after a certain amount or however many they want to get to, he can deal that damage back, but twice as much. So OP, and he's like a knight, like a Templar almost. So he's like a tank. He can heal. He's a paladin, so he can pretty much just take a shit ton of damage and then double it right back as soon as he gets to that threshold that he needs to one-shot anything. Now, in this episode, the ogre that we're fighting, it didn't cut it, right? Like, again, we got the hint last episode that the ogre, their heart is in the stomach, and of course, our main character forgot, and he blew off the head of the ogre. And, what are you gonna do, right? Main characters, right? You gotta give them that power up, and that came in the way of Nemesis evolving into Form 2, which is pretty much like a spear with extra steps, right? That's what it is. It's a spear with extra steps. So what can I say? It looks cool, don't get me wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna have more powers down the line. But right now, it gives like a boost to HP, so he's always regenerating HP, which, again, him taking damage, and then the Nemesis can transform back into the first weapon and one-shot anything again, because he's taking that damage in. And it increased the amount of times she can do those skills. So you already know her weapon is going to be top of the line. Now, the biggest thing on this episode was not actually the ogre fight. It was cool. Now, the animation wasn't nothing crazy or amazing. It was average at best. But actually, the whole world, like, I think we got a lot of world building this episode because, for one, we see Ray looking at the NPCs that died, and he's like, this feels too real. Like all these NPCs, they die and they don't come back. Like, is this even a game? That was his thought process. And then immediately we cut into like an unknown character. And this character, to me, looks like a system admin maybe, or some other type of character maybe. We don't know. It's a complete mysterious character. But this character pretty much is saying that, Ray, a low-level character, was able to defeat like an ultimate boss that's higher level than him. Now, I will say that was not exactly the case, because right before Ray dealt the final blow, we saw that one bullet that killed him, like, what, 2 episodes ago? The player killer, the superior player killer, pretty much shot the ogre on the other mouth that he was about to kill Ray. But, so we don't know exactly why that happened, if that superior killer is going to try to help Ray, or maybe it was the guy that was behind the computer here in my background. Maybe that was the guy that sent that bullet in. We don't know, but we do know that bullet was there for sure. And now the mysterious character actually said something really interesting to me. He was like, if people don't get enough skills, we're not gonna get to 100 superiors, and we're not gonna reach infinity. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, right? I mean, it's anybody's guess at this point. It was just words at this point, because we don't know. And he also said, everybody's assuming that this is like a game from start to finish. And that little phrase right there kind of hinted that maybe this is more than a game. Maybe this is maybe it's happening in another universe or something. I mean, it's a stretch, I know, but the way he worded that phrase that he said, to me, sounded like this is more than just a game. And then is it a coincidence that our main character, Ray, is pretty much thinking the same thing? Like, this just looks too real, right? And I understand it's a VR MMO, it's supposed to feel real, but, I think Ray's actually connecting to this world, and maybe he feels something that others don't. So we're probably going to find out. I think after this episode, there is going to be a more serious tone than just the game, right? I think it's going to go ahead and get a lot more serious. And I'm actually excited for this, because so far with this anime, I like it. It's an isekai. So, I mean, I already automatically, I'm going to like the anime. But from the first 4 episodes, it hasn't really been that great of an anime, right? Like I definitely prefer Buffy over this anime, because aside from Ray, the other characters are really just real NPCs, really just extras, right? They're not really that great. So maybe after this episode, stuff is gonna start going way faster, and we're gonna fall in love with either Rook and Lilim or other new characters. Who knows? That penguin that showed up at the end of the episode, again, I thought this was the funniest part of the episode, because Ray was outside of town testing out his new equipment that he got from killing the ogre, which pretty much it was 2 gauntlets, and he can use the skills that the ogre was using, like the fire one and the poison one, and he was just trying it out. And it was funny because he was pretty much using it on himself, because he would point his arms forward, but it would come backwards, because he was about whatever. The point is, it was funny. He got burned, he got poisoned, and until he got the hang of it. And that's when the mysterious penguin comes along. And now again, we don't know who's inside this costume. It could be his brother for all we know. You know what I mean? That dude's inside a bear costume. Maybe he switched. What if his brother's actually the main villain? Who knows? It's a possibility, right? Because we haven't seen anybody else be in a costume except his brother. But pretty much the penguin gives him a potion, because he was all pretty much all poison and losing stats. And Ray just drinks it, and then he gets, I wouldn't say bunny ears, but he gets ears. And I swear I was laughing, because Ray, from episode 1 till now, he was pretty much always trying to be the righteous guy, and like, you know, he's all about saving everybody and being an all positive character. And his murderous intent literally just turned on like that. He was like, yo, you're about to die, because he hates those bunny ears, whatever you want to call them, like the animal ears. That's like his #1 thing he hates ever. So just the fact that he got him is funny. And the penguin just runs away. So he's stuck with him. And the penguin pretty much told him, dude, you can't get rid of him. Like, that's it. Like, you have him till, I guess, forever now. We're going to find out. But overall, I liked the episode. It was good. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Even if you're liking the anime, because I know this anime is not going to be for everybody. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Definitely going to keep watching it. So like always, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a like. And I will see you on the next episode.